Good evening. My brief is a little different. I'm going to be dealing with, or just talking very briefly about gender and race in private practice. I have, thanks Greg for inviting me, to enlighten you a little bit about myself, and I think it's possibly for students here as well. I was born in the 1980s in Cape Town, in fact, Rekha, and I started my primary education at St. Paul's Primary School. Family was then forced to move out of Cape Town, and we had to go into Rylands or to Athlone. Started schooling at Silverleaf Primary, and then under the Indian Education Board at Rylands High School. During the late 1970s, I participated in the boycotts at the time, attended meetings, and respected late Dalai Lama's home, and marches opposing the tricameral constitution of the day. In 1983, listened to Dr. Bussack amongst 15,000 people at the launch of the UDF at Rocklands Mitchell's Plain, and this still gives me goosebumps recalling the unity displayed and steps taken to get to where we are today. Also, you know, the words never, never, never again at the speech by Mr. Mandela at his inauguration. Now, these are things that we all forms part of our background, you know, where I've come from. So within 2 years of starting my studies at the University of Western Cape in the 1980s, there were a series of boycotts, the longest lasting for about 6 months without lectures and a series of challenging self-study months. I was fortunate to be offered articles, and at the time I can vouch that many of my colleagues at the time did not have the opportunity to get articles, having come out of Western Cape for one, and also because of the nature of the firms that predominated at the time, being very male white orientated. I managed to secure articles, and then I obtained my BA in 89, LLB in 91, and qualified as a conveyancer in 97. I started my own practice in 1999. Single black female attempting to secure work presented its own set of challenges. A few years ago, and a few years later, once I was in practice, I was approached by a number of firms, partially due to the threat of the BEE compliance certificate hanging over. So, however, in 2006, when Cliffe Dekker Hofmeyr approached me to join as a lateral hire, it coincided with changes in my personal life, and that's what prompted me to then make that shift. The change from private practice to a large corporate environment was completely overwhelming, to say at the very least. Having spoken a little bit about myself, let's talk a little bit about transformation, and I can only speak about transformation within the environment that I'm in. Transformation, as we're all very aware, it transcends color. Many of us can vouch from our personal experiences of women, particularly black women, have been marginalized under the apartheid regime and struggle to secure jobs. And once in the workplace, it's still a struggle to secure equitable distribution of work. And I joined, when I joined Cliffe Dekker in 2006, it was about finding my place in an environment which already had certain structures in place. So here you are, stepping into this environment, trying to see and I've had general practice, and the corporate ethic is very different because one has to specialize, one has to secure, decide on which area of work one wants to possibly be associated with, and at the same time there's the talk about fees. So, having all of that, I decided, well, I was already a conveyancer, and I decided, well, I would continue to be in the conveyancing department. As a woman, I think we just celebrated Women's Day, and it's a constant reminder of our struggle for economic, political, and social achievement worldwide, and the courage, strength, and perseverance that we have to continue to have. It's agreed that previously disadvantaged people experience difficulties in entering the legal profession, number one, and establishing themselves as successful legal practitioners for various reasons, ranging, as our previous speakers so rightly said, from poverty, education, access, service to finance, but to name a few. But I can say that there has been a shift, And a number of my colleagues have their own successful practices, but not without perseverance and constantly facing challenges and setbacks ranging from financial institutions and differing set of criteria being required once one is a practice. I'm also pleased to confirm, it's possibly not where we want to be and certainly not where we should be, but that there is a transformation agenda active within our firm, and I'll just read this to you. Our transformation stats are indicative of this. We have a quarter, which is 25.4% represent black directors, of which a third represent black female directors. Our female associates have grown and make up almost 70%. And senior associates, 64.1%. The stats then reflect that going forward, our current recruitment of women shows a definite shift. The number of black associates reflects 49.1%, which will also mean a change in the demographics of the firm going forward, given the possible number of black directors going forward. In many spheres, we still have a way to go. Issues including the country's economic growth, more focus on our local productions, national difficulty to get access to education, particularly in rural areas, difficulty for people from previously disadvantaged backgrounds to compete in the workplace. All of these pose problems. Despite the emergence of the black middle class, which does not represent the majority of the population, the fact is that there still is limited funding for tertiary education. Students entering the workplace from different institutions at school have minimum training to bridge the gap. We have linguistic difficulties, and the ability to write and speak being key to the profession makes it even more difficult for one to not only enter into the profession, but to compete and to provide a quality service. Accordingly, embracing diversity requires not only action, but also a mind shift as to how we interact with each other and to support and guide leadership skills within our different spheres of practice. To transform practicing lawyers, to support appropriate mentorship programs, will not happen overnight. I think we're all very cognizant of that. I'll just go on to mention our efforts at the firm that I'm at. We have a structured mini vacation program for university students actively involved with the University of the Western Cape, amongst others. We have a transformation policy in place, and it's not there in name. It is the duty of not just our HR or management, but all the practitioners at the firm to actively work towards work towards the transformation within. Growing the professional expertise of the firm's junior professionals and black people and women in particular from the time they are recruited as candidate attorneys, exploring joint mergers. Well, that's been happening a lot now. Exploring joint ventures, mergers with black law firms, identifying lateral hires. There is constant work in progress to enhance equity participation and employment opportunities of people with disabilities. And internally we deal with the with casual day. With regards to training and development, we proactively have continuing education courses and programs. Our CEO is, in terms with regards to diversity, we have our CEO is Brent Williams, who is the first black CEO to be appointed in the circles of large law firms, and we are constantly engaging in a process to place distribution for work and to ensure that when the council is engaged, that they secure the services of junior black counsel to assist senior counsel so that there is some type of transition with regards to skills. We also have many pro bono efforts, but I think given the time constraints, I'm not going to go on to that. And if you need to hear any more about it, then you can just chat to me. Thanks very much.